So there is a dome, right? That's what then they call it the firmament. So if the sun is on this side, they're saying that I guess the earth has to be so much bigger because then this side is nighttime. You, you should be able to go like this and it'll make it shorter.
Make it Russia, something like you leave US and you land in Russia.
Yeah, or when you want to go to China, right? You could go, yeah, like you said, go around. But that's what I'm saying, and I don't know why. Those are questions that
we need to be answered.
Because
why are they so adamant of like you better fucking flying over? Man, you know what? Which person I would like to interview? It would be a funny interview. Theo Vaughn,
yeah.
That interview with him would be so crazy.
Man, también like Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan, or you know who else too? Mel Gibson. I know he sounds kind of out there, but
I'm out there too. So
yeah, I like the way he thinks.
Yeah, free thinkers for the most part are understood.
Yeah,
like not understood at all. They're like nobody. They be like, oh man, they sound loony or whatever, but they're thinking outside the box, and a lot of people cannot comprehend that.
Exactly, and it's just but you know what? It goes to that if free thinker. I can't believe I didn't think of that. Like if people like us that think freely, I mean that's why we're misunderstood. Like you said, we're either misunderstood and we're loonies, or the ones that we're just like, you're. That's where the word woke came from, right? We're unplugged from the matrix, you know.
Crazy how plugged we are in the matrix.
Imagine if we're in a simulation inside of a simulation.
That would be fucked up.
You know,
that would be like I don't know if it appear on your algorithm, but lately I have been
like
swarmed.
us that think freely.
Like, we post content.
Yeah, that's why we're misunderstood. Like you said, we're either misunderstood and we're loonies, or like the ones that we're just like,
But
that's where the word woke came from, right? We're unplugged from the matrix around Antarctica,
and it's more land after the ice, after the wall, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm like,
what? Okay, so
it kind of makes sense.
I mean, when you hear them and you hear them articulate everything, it makes perfect sense.
Especially they don't let us fly over.
Yeah.
Why not?
And they say the magnetic fields jams up the planes, but I don't know why they don't let us fly, and I don't have a real opinion to that. But I will say that if we are in a flat Earth, right? Like let's say this table's pretty flat, and if the sun, so there is a dome, right? That's what they call it the firmament. So if the sun is on this jams up the planes, they're saying that but I guess the Earth has I don't know why they don't let us fly, and I don't have because a real then this side. But I will say that if we are in a flat Earth, so the moon's over here. Like let's say this table's pretty flat. Wouldn't we see like the sun? And have you seen sometimes you see the rays of the suns like that, right? And wouldn't we see jagged, like the reflection of the mountains? Because at some point the Rocky Mountains are pretty big, right? So we would, I guess. I've been in New Mexico before, or I've been in Oklahoma, close to where the mountains are. And you know what I mean? Like, I just don't know how it would go like this. And supposedly the sun is bigger than the Earth. And the reason why we know that is because the distance, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see something.
It is weird.
It's just weird.
It is weird.
And then the lunar eclipse, right? How do you explain that if we're flat?
I guess
like
something is spinning faster than the sun is spinning faster than the moon. I mean, they say the moon is static.
Yeah, that's what they say, yeah.
So if you have the moon and then you have the sun going around it, it's always a lunar eclipse somewhere in the planet.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But, okay, so
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if the Earth is flat, then why is the shadow speared? You know, like it's like a circle. You know, because wouldn't it be kind of like flat, like you would see a line? You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why I'm like,
that makes sense.
And then two, I have friends that has gone to Alaska, for example, and I have welder friends that work out there, and they'll have 6 months nighttime, 6 months daytime, and so you see how the sun keeps rotating in the same way.
Really?
From up there. Yeah.
Wow.
So the same thing.
That's some wild shit right there.
Yeah, there was like one of these biggest conspiracy guys of a flat earth, and I can't think of his name, but a scientist said, you know what? I'll pay for your trip. I'll take you to Antarctica, where we have our base there. Set your cameras up, record it live. We'll do a whole week of recording so you can see that the earth is round, because the explanation, and he recorded it live, and there's a video out there, and he's like, yeah, the earth is round. I was wrong. There was,
but the question lies is like, why every continent in the earth is not allowing you and me,
yeah, correct,
to fly over the North Pole or the South Pole?
And see,
because if it's true, I'll just fly over. Let's say I am in Argentina.
Yeah, correct.
Like Peru, down in the bottom.
Yeah.
And I go to Antarctica, right? South Pole, right?
Yeah.
And say, okay, I will do a 12 or 14-hour flight.
Just go south like that.
Just go south. And I should come around somewhere Australia, right?
Yeah, correct.
I should.
You should.
Why they don't do that?
Now, I don't know
That's
why.
a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question.
Like, why they don't do that?
And the other question, too, is on the Earth, right? If you want to go to Europe, right?
Oh, North Pole.
Yeah. You should be able to go like this, and it'll make it shorter.
Make it Russia, something. Like you leave U.S. and you land in Russia.
Yeah, or when you want to go to China, right? You could go, like you said, go around. But that's what I'm saying, and I don't know why. Those are questions that
we need to be answered. Because why they so adamant of like, you dare fucking flying over?
And they're trying to say, they're trying to say, well, the instrumentation.
Well, shit, we have satellite now.
Yeah, exactly. How we can, and when they say that, it's like it's BS. I just seen Elon Musk throw a rocket and shoot a picture from the rocket in Saturn, pointing and on his X, right? And he says that blue dot, that's where we're at. So you're telling me you could get a video from millions of miles away, or I don't know if it's millions.
Well, you cannot go over,
but you can't go over
or under.
Come on now, yeah.
Like
there's something going on.
Another one, people watching or listening to us. Why we always see pictures from the space station? We've seen videos, right?
Correct.
We see nothing but water and land. Where's the ice?
Yeah, true.
Where's the ice? Like, we going around in 90 minutes. We go around the planet Earth.
And
like,
they're saying that like they're probably this small, right? And they're not ever going this way. But
why not?
I don't know.
Why not? They can just fly over the North Pole.
And that scientist Tyson.
That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. Tyson.
Greece.
Yeah. Okay. So he even said there's a video out there where has like a regular globe, and he stacks up dimes on that globe. Basically, our space station is not even outside of I guess what the flat earthers are calling firmament. Like so I don't even think we've ever been to the moon. I think that was a lie for sure. But if the space station ain't really space, I mean, it's what we're calling it.
Just borderline.
We're still in our atmosphere, I think, or parts of it. Yeah,
because the gravity keeps us there. we like on the sweet spot.
Yeah, on
Like
the
whether if you go higher, whatever, so many feet, you will just fly off. Or if you stay there, you stay there. You still in the gravitational pull, but not enough to pull you in or let you leave. It's just in the sweet spot. But it's weird, man. I'm telling you, like every time I see the space station, I'm like, all right, where's the ice?
yeah.
I mean, we see hurricanes and we see like atmospheric phenomena out there. Like, oh, look, we have a tsunami, or this is what happened, and whatever. Hey, this is a light at night from the U.S. or North Korea, whatever. No lights in North Korea. Got it. Where is the ice?
Exactly. Like,
Where is? Show me a video of the North or South Pole and let me know if it's something beyond those limits. It's something to think about. I mean, I'm over here rambling and like
no,
why
but,
we need.
but you're right. I mean, I agree with you. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, do I believe the Earth is flat? I don't believe so. Right. But am I gonna say out here outright and say, "Oh, someone's dumb for believing that"? No, I'm not going to. But I will say that I do know that the Earth is round because I can't think of that Greek philosopher, but he paid somebody within a line to go south all the way to like Egypt, and he put like a sundial and recorded it at the same time, right? And then somebody later on in the 30s, I think 1930s, did the same, and that's how we knew that guy was right, that the Earth is round because of the way the shadows cast. If it was flat, the shadows would be the same. It wouldn't, because they made sure. And again, I don't know how these people back in the day knew how to be 100% straight, but we can't do that now. And you'll find out that the shadows won't match because that just, and you put it on a piece of paper with two sticks and just shine a light. Don't move the light or leave it stationary. And if you just do this, it explains the shadows.
Oh yeah, because shadow would cast different.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But so that's why there's a lot of evidence to show that we are round, and I do believe that we still can have a firmament in a round. My God is powerful enough to make sure it's even holding in the bottom. So I do believe it's round, and I will agree that there's something fishy or foolishness going around why they don't want to go through Antarctica or North Pole or South Pole. There is something fishy because the flight routes, there's sometimes you look at it and it makes sense for you to cross.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like, and they don't do it.
They say that you go from Canada to Europe. Like,
exactly.
Why you don't go over? It's shorter. No, we had to go around. I'm like, why? Then that's the flat Earth come around.
Yeah,
because the map is flat.
And this is the result of us being lied to. You know what I mean?
By
For
the
so
media.
much.
Yeah.
Back to the whole topic of this is, does the media control us? Well, apparently whoever controls the media controls the narrative.
Yeah.
And we've been lied to for so many years that which is good that we're questioning. I like that we're questioning this. Something like, because you got to remember this. The person that said that the Earth was round in that timeline, they thought he was crazy.
True.
And he was crazy. He's a psychopath. He's a lunatic. He's dumb. He's probably smoking something too much or whatever they judge that guy. And then years later, he made a thesis or whatever, and the academics, which back then academia was, it stood something. Now I don't know what it stands for. It's
questionable. Yeah,
it's questionable.
Sometimes
I think I'm smarter than the academics,
Yeah.
But at one point, academia, they would test it, and a bunch of, if one scientist or one professor or would agree to it, that didn't make it true. Then the next person would challenge that thesis, and if 3 or 4 concluded, and then they would make it, hey, this guy was right. The crazy guy that died, everybody believed him was crazy. We found out he's true, So then, back to this right now. I mean, what if the earth is flat? What if I'm in the camp of calling those people crazy, right? And then we find out that, but again, we wouldn't know this if we don't keep talking about it.
Right.
So
it is completely like crazy how media companies nowadays are like, I'm talking about legacy media.
Yeah.
They're falling off the cliff. Like nobody believed them anymore. They rather to believe those upcoming news outlets like alternative, like Newsmax, the Daily Wire. You have
OAN.
OAN, and you have like independent journalists out there bringing the actual news instead of narrative, like CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, whatever. They have their own agenda, and they follow the money. They don't follow the truth. They don't follow.
Remember what Denzel Washington said? You get good at something if you do it so much. And what happened within the last 60 years of media? It's no longer, hey, report the news, but just report it quick. We got to throw it out there. So you start throwing out whether it's true or not. Just throw it out there. It's so, like, for example, let's say you went outside, your dog pooped in your yard. The dog goes in the house. So you're like picking up dog poop, and the neighbor sees that, oh my gosh, Julio pooped in the yard. And so report it. Just report it. Don't even care if it's true or not. Report it.
Right.
And then you see headlines, Julio pooped in his front yard. And then it's like, wait, what? And then later, it doesn't matter if they destroy your reputation. Mm-hmm. They'll just say, oh, well, we're apologized. They're
not even apologize.
Yeah,
man.
and it's not really an apology. Yeah, exactly. But they do it because then you can sue them for slander,
and all that BS. But that's who we are right now. We are like in the speed media.
Yep, that's it.
How fast can we get?
Just report it. Who cares if it destroys someone's
how fast
life?
we can get clicks, likes, and comments and whatnot. It's not about like being right anymore or bring the facts, whether people like it or not. It's just like we all have to be right in our mind. That's why they manipulate people.
Yeah,
through
exactly.
the media. How they they don't tell you the truth. They tell you half the truth. They manipulate the people by wrapping just half the truth with emotions, and people get like rage and people get mad and start commenting. That's what they want. They want.
And like, emotions are
rage bait people. Like,
yeah, exactly. And emotions are deceiving,
Right.
So if we're angry about something, then guess what? They'll just go on the narrative to go angry. And then they know that somebody's not getting angry. So then they'll play the opposite end. So it's kind of like they do want us to be arguing back and forth.
Divided.
Divided.
They divide and conquer. That's what I'm seeing the last couple of years. Like, they first off dividing us by, they're still doing it by race.
Yeah.
Like, black, white, Hispanic, or Asian, whatever. And then they divided us by social or economic.
Yeah, exactly.
Rich, poor, middle class, whatever.
And then
then they divide us by genders. Now, you're transgender, and if you're straight, most likely you're racist. And they start combining those nouns. Racism with genders.
With gender, yeah.
And now they're gonna mix politics in between. Now you got the trifecta. You're straight, you're white, and you're a Trump supporter. Bro,
canceled.
You canceled. So now they start mixing up. Now they start doing cocktails of how we can divide people, and that is crazy.
And the thing is, we don't even have to go so far in history to say what we're saying is true or not, because look at the Joe Biden scandal. Everyone knew. I mean, everyone knew the man was not right in his mind. I mean, even in the clips when it was 20 early 2019. Remember, he got on stage and he was like, "I'm Joe Biden and I'm running for Senate or for the Senate." He was running to be a president, and he said that. Yeah. So okay, I don't want to get into politics, but just back to the media thing. They had half of the country, or we believe it was half of the country because we don't know how that went down, but a lot of Democrats out there really believed that he was, conscious, he was good, he was sharp. I mean, they were telling you that he was sharp. That Tapper guy, he was telling you that he was like, oh, he's the best, and everyone of that side believed it. Now you're finding out, and that's proof right there. They're coming out and saying, well, like Tapper, he's saying, I knew he was declining, I knew he was, but no, rewind the tape, and that's what this platform of us communicating it, taking it out there to you guys, because these are conversations that I bet everybody has.
Yeah, that's basically like a dinner time conversation.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And you're right. I mean, okay, people misspeak sometimes. I understand that. It happened once or twice in our lifetime. Everybody, happened to someone.
Correct.
At any time. But the issue is constantly tripping over, walking and falling, going upstairs and falling all the time.
Thinking somebody that's alive that's
bad
been
for the guy.
Dead for like months.
I feel bad for the guy.
Me too.
Because I knew he was not on his. I mean, he was not on his faculties. He was not there. And I was like, come on, man, they're using that guy.
And see, that's elderly abuse.
It is, man. I feel bad.
That's somebody's grandpa. Somebody's,
Man, they were trying to pull a fast one on us. They were trying to pull, and this is my theory. They were trying to do another Biden Kamala, right? But Biden couldn't keep up no more. That's why they changed to Kamala Harris at the very end.
And she was worse. Did you see
she didn't get no votes in that, not even in Iowa. Mm-mm. And she became like, she was basically appointed. Like, you're going to be now the presidential candidate. Nobody voted for her. There were no primaries. And
so
I was like,
what happened to democracy?
Out the door.
And she was terrible. She's terrible. She did she just did a seminar in really? Australia.
She's still going around.
She went to Australia.
Who paid her to go over there?
Apparently, the government of Australia. They had her there. She was speaking. Dude, it was so bad that they didn't air it. They didn't even air it.
Oh, that's why they didn't need it.
That's why nobody knows about it. They didn't air it.
But she cashed the money.
But somebody in Fox got a hold of the video. And they released it on Jesse Waters. And I seen it. Oh, my gosh, bro. Word salad, like 2.0. Really? I mean, she was saying word salad, like she was saying, like, when you walk to the store, and then I started to think of how I walked and went to the store. And as I was going to the store, I realized the journey that took me as I was walking. You know what I mean? She keeps doing that, like circles, dude. Like, that's all she does. If you listen to her. I
wonder how much she got paid, though.
Oh, I'm sure she got paid a hefty amount. For what? I have no. Well, no. Wait, no. The reason why she went. So people from California, y'all pay attention because y'all had these wildfires and they're, conveniently in the tracks where they want to have this monorail or whatever, right? So she went there to talk about real estate. And Australia is wanting to, again, I don't know. I'm probably misinformation here. I don't know. Conspiracy, tin hat. But I think they want to invest somewhere in California. So she's running for governor in California. That's what her plan is.
She's lobbying.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to get at.
She's lobbying.
So again,
she's trying to be like,
she's like, hey,
donate some money. Yeah, and we get that paperwork signed. Huh?
This speech, and she didn't care if it aired or not. But seriously, word salad. Like, how can somebody
I need to see that video, man.
Dude, it is horrible.
I'm gonna link it down below so people can.
Yeah, we'll put it on below so you guys can see it.
Come on, man. That's what I'm pissed about media. And that's what I'm happy for the Joe Rogans out there. That's what I'm happy in Made in America podcast. I'm happy for Ruben out there, the PBD podcast. And
I love PBD. Shout out to Patrick. Dude.
All those guys out there. Glenn Beck.
That's my hero. Glenn Beck. Oh man.
So
he's
I'm happy
he's an asset for humanity. You know what I mean?
So and then we have the Larry Elders and we got all these pundit out there. Those all these podcasts.
Also, shout out to David Harris Jr. You know, he's also a very good. You know, he wore a hat, and you know, just for just to show you the hypocrisy of the left, he was just wearing a hat. And I think this was like in 2017, 2018, and they kicked him out. You know, they didn't let him wear the hat because apparently this was violent, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
I used to get me one of those hats, man. I know I got Trump over there, but
yeah, if this ever gets to the Trump administration, I really want a signature right here.
Yeah,
you know?
But so we are happy. I'm happy. Those people are out there,
exactly.
stirring the pots and making common sense and asking questions. And people get banned just for asking questions.
And that's freedom of speech. Like if what we're saying is annoying you, or if what we're saying is bothering you, look how beautiful this country is that we still have the right to talk about this and say this. The moment you're banning us from speaking, well, then that's not being protected under the free speech, under the First Amendment. So the same thing. I bet you for those left that are into Bernie Sanders, I do not agree with anything that man says, but hey, I would fight for his right to say what he wants.
Absolutely.
I
hear him. I mean, if he had point to say, I hear him. There's nothing wrong to hear somebody and be respectful and agree to disagree.
And you'll like having this conversation here. Mm-hmm. You'll find out that there's things that you and I will disagree on, and then there's things that we do agree on, and then you'll find out even the most person that I disagree with, I bet you as long as we have a civil conversation, and what I mean is don't yell at me, I won't yell at you, and then you'll find out that, guess what? We have something in common. There's common ground somewhere within all that rhetoric, within all that jumboness. And then somehow, after 2015, conveniently under somebody, we can't have those conversations no more, because if you voted for Trump, I can't see you no more. I will never be here in your Thanksgiving, and then I isolate myself, and then I'm lonely, and then I'm sad, and then vice versa. Trump's supporter, you know what? You're my son, and you're gay, and you're a leftist. I don't want to, that is the bad thing, that. And back to the point, I think the media has a lot of that because there's money in that, emotions. There's
money and emotions and hate and vitriol, whatever. It is money in there. And what is the sad part is we as a human beings, we're being divided, and basically we learn how to hate each other.
I know.
And I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
We people hate each other because, I hate you because you voted for Trump, or I hate you because you voted for Kamala. I don't hate people that I know that vote for Kamala. I'm like, all right, that's your right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why are you mad at me because I voted for Trump?
Exactly.
Like, why?
Yeah, like if I see
like come on, man, can we be equal at least on that on that matter?
Yeah, exactly. Like if I have my bumper sticker that I voted for Trump, I don't want you to bash my truck in there, just because I'm proud that I voted for what I believe is right. Now, if I see a Bernie Sanders or a Biden sticker or a Kamala sticker, I'm not gonna vandalize that car because I'm just like, hey, you know what? Let them believe what you want to believe. I don't believe in that. I think it's dumb, but that doesn't mean that it's true, right? You know what I'm saying? I could be. Like, this is what I was getting at the last time. We lose ourselves when we think we're always right. And that's when you lose yourself as an intellectual person. you should always challenge your own beliefs. You should always challenge every belief you hear. And honestly, the best way to do that is to have a conversation with somebody that doesn't agree with you.
Absolutely.
Because if we keep agreeing with each other, then guess what? Now talking about this, I think that's the problem. We are all just talking to the people that we agree with. We're under a community, which we shouldn't do that. We should probably reach out to, like, it's kind of like this, right? This show that we're doing here, this podcast, if I am looking for a feedback of what we're doing, I think it would be, if the people that agree to this show, well, we're going to get the same feedback because we agree with it. But if I would ask the people that don't agree with me, because I want to reach for more audience, then guess what? I'm going to listen to everyone, not just the person I agree with, not, with the people that I disagree with. And that you can use that logic, I think, in your everyday, like, hey, if you're a Trump supporter, if you see me wearing this hat, instead of bashing me because I'm wearing this hat, or bashing my property, why don't we just say, hey, I'm curious, what drop? But the moment you're like, why did you vote for a racist? Like, oh, calm down, Karen. Like that's when you got to learn to, don't live on your emotions. I mean, emotions are not bad. They're just, it's like a toddler that's throwing a tantrum because you told him, hey, it's bedtime. And he's like, no, and he's just like rolling on the ground and stuff. You have to stop that. You have to say, hey, you can't act like that, because in the real world, I can't throw a tantrum when my boss tells me, hey, you can't do this. I'm not going to roll on the ground, But anyways, back to the point is that you have to come honestly and be like, hey, Julio, I noticed you drink that Celsius drink. So why? And let's say I hate it, right? Why do you like kiwis? And ask for real, like, find out why he likes kiwis, and then he'll say why he really likes kiwis, and then maybe I'll be like, I never looked at it that way. The next time I try a kiwi, I'll think of that, and then you'll be like, oh, that's why he likes it. Maybe his taste buds are better for this and that. Same thing with politics, Yeah. Maybe why does he vote for Trump? Oh, because Trump is this and that, and then let's say I'm consuming just one outlet and I think Trump is a racist. Then you start telling me he's not a racist. Did you know in 2015, there was this singer named Fantasia. They killed her families and she had nowhere to live. And Donald Trump let her live in a penthouse for like 2 years, never charged her a penny. And a penthouse in the Trump. I mean, I went and looked at one of the rooms just to live there for maybe I don't know, maybe a week or so, because for an Airbnb, whatever. Nah, bro. And that's the lowest. It was about 20 grand or something like that. So I'm like,
for a week?
Yeah. Wow. So imagine a penthouse for 2 years. How much is that going to cost? Well, Trump let her live there for free and she's black. So would a racist do that? So it's like,
it's a narrative, man. It's the media.
Exactly.
Media don't tell us the truth. We have to search, and I'm encourage everyone who listen or watching us.
Yeah.
Search. Question everything.
Everything.
And if you are supporting us and you like our content, please share this with your friends.
Yeah.
They don't like our content. Just share it.
Just share it. Yeah. Just check these guys out, man. I mean, if they're onto something, and if you disagree, go on the comments. We read every single one of them.
Yeah, we do.
Some of them are pretty hilarious,
Yeah,
and,
I know.
Some of them are like, you guys are on point on some of them, and so maybe you might throw something and say, hey, instead of y'all talking about this, why don't y'all talk about? Give us subjects. Give us whatever you think that maybe you want to hear our perspective. Maybe we might go far right or far even left. I mean,
we've been trying to get somebody from the left, but nobody wants to come.
Yeah. So if you disagree with us, hit us up, DMs.
Yeah.
Either at Robert or the X-Ray Podcast, social media, Facebook. Let us know. Be like, hey, I want to go up there, and I would like to, and we don't have to debate or anything, but we could just talk ideas. Like, tell us, I want to know, like, hey, why do you like Jasmine Crockett? Then that would be like, because I can't stand that woman. Oh my gosh, I can't stand that woman.
But that don't mean we don't listen to you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, listen. Yep.
So we are happy to be here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Please comment down below, like, subscribe, and share.